Welcome back, everyone. My name is Ralph, and on today's episode, we are going to finish ISD Level 2 question paper, right? So it was written on the 4th of December 2024, and I'm gonna finish question 3. Actually, it's the last part, right? I'll just jump straight to it. So here it is. I've read and understood what they want us to do here. They want us to create an app that computes a tip amount, tip allowance, restaurant total, and busboy allowance, and also some transaction information, right? Make sure you read and understand the IPO chart, what they want us to, what they want us to do. I'll just jump straight to the. Okay, first, this is how the app looks like, right? And this is the one I've created. This is actually how it looks like. This is the one I've created. It looks a bit different because I only changed this part, right? Only this part right here. I've made the button smaller. Okay, and then let's just jump straight to the question. In most cases, right, you will find a partially, like here they're saying, a partially completed user interface has been saved on the hard drive, right? And in our case, we don't have. They will tell you not to declare your own variables or use the, and you must use the variable and named controls as indicated, right, in the partially completed solution. And in our case, we don't have that, so we had to create our own application, right? So make sure you name all your controls, name them all, right, so that you can call them when you're coding. Okay, now let's jump to our first question. They want us to write our examination number as a comment to your source code. At some point they won't ask you to, so always remember to put your examination number, which is your ID number, right on top of your code, on top of your class, right? Just right here. Okay, now they're saying open the click event of the compute button and add the following code, right? We're gonna first double click here. Let's give it some room to breathe. Okay, the first question is use a try catch statement to determine if the user entered a valid numeric value for the subtotal, and if not, inform the user as shown in the screenshot above, right? And before exiting the compute button event, clear all the input values and set the focus on the total text box control. Okay, so what's a try catch statement? A try catch statement, it's actually an error handling statement, and this is how it works, right? Okay, first thing, we're gonna start by declaring our subtotal variable, right? Because we don't have those variables declared for us. Okay, we're gonna say dim subtotal as decimal. Always use decimal when you're dealing with money. We're gonna give it 0 at first, and this is our try catch. So under try, where the cursor is right now, this is where you're gonna assign your subtotal to your text box. And if the user doesn't put any number, a number, right, it's gonna ask them, it's gonna show them this message box under catch, right? Or let me put it this way, this is where you're gonna put your condition, right? You're gonna say subtotal is equals to decimal. We are actually converting anything that's actually inside the text box, right? And if the user doesn't put anything inside the text box, or they put a character or something, right, they're gonna show them a message under the catch statement, under catch, right? So this is how it handles that error. If this brings us an error, if this statement brings us an error, right, it's gonna be caught here. It's gonna take whatever that's here before the application actually crashes, right? It's not gonna crash, it's gonna show them a message box. That's how a try catch works, right? You can always use it to make sure that your app doesn't crash. by just showing them maybe they made a mistake somewhere, or there's a huge error maybe your app cannot handle without crashing the whole application. That's what a trackage do, right? Now we're gonna put our message box here. If the app crashes, right? Okay, message box will show. They said we should copy. They said if not, inform the user as shown in the screenshot above, right? So they have it for us. As I can see, this message box has this title, which is input error. This message box, please enter a numeric subtotal, yes, and an error icon. Last, it's a what? An OK button, right? So we're gonna say please enter a valid. Is that right? Oh, please enter a numeric subtotal. So if the user doesn't put anything inside that subtotal text box, it's going to give them this error. I mean, it's going to show them this message box. If they don't put anything inside, and if they don't put a number, right, it's going to show them this error. It had an input error title and an OK button. Lastly, it has an error icon. Okay, and they want us they want us to clear all the input values and set input values, and we only have 2 input values, and they're saying all input values. Does it mean we also have to clear? I'll check that one out. Does it mean we have to also clear what is it? Yeah, the waiter name. I'll check that one out. But at this point, we can clear the subtotal since it is the one which is giving us an error. We're gonna say subtotal. We're gonna say txt subtotal dot clear. That's how we're gonna clear it. To focus, we're gonna say subtotal dot focus to focus on the text box when the user clicks. Okay. Now we're gonna exit the subtotal. I mean, yes, exit the sub procedure. We're gonna stop the program from running when it runs this into this error when the user presses OK. Right, let's quickly try that and see if it works. So let's test it and see if it's gonna work. Let me put it in the middle. I'm just gonna go ahead and press. If the subtotal has nothing, it's gonna give us this error message box. Okay, now let me put maybe some characters. See, it works perfectly. Okay, now let's go to the next question. Yeah, okay, I wanted to understand if they want us, it's saying use a trackage statement to determine if the user entered a valid numeric value. Okay, so now they only want us to use a numeric value, I mean to validate a numeric value for the subtotal. They're not asking if the user ever entered their waiter name, right? Okay, so that's fine. That will be your 7 marks. Now let's go to the next question. It says for 1 mark, assign the waiter's name to the variable called waiter name. We're gonna start by declaring waiter a string and assign it to waiter name text box. Okay, let's go to the next question. It says determine whether the subtotal value is above or below the 30,000 threshold for the tip percentage, and then calculate the applicable amounts, which are waiter tip, restaurant, and busboy total, for 10 marks. So they want us make sure that you understand the RPO chart. They're saying if the subtotal is less than 3,000, right, the tip allowance is gonna be 10% of that subtotal, and the restaurant total is gonna be subtotal minus, which is obvious, right, minus tip allowance, and then busboy will be 0. And then if the money or the subtotal is above 3,000, right, if it's above 3,000, then tip allowance will be 20% of that subtotal, and then the restaurant will be subtotal minus tip allowance, right? Then busboy will be tip allowance. I mean, it's gonna be 4% of that tip allowance if the amount is above 3,000. Let's do that. We're gonna start by saying if subtotal is less than 3,000, then first let's declare those variables, right? Because we're not gonna work with anything. First thing, we're gonna declare weighter tip. Weighter tip is decimal and give it 0 at first. Then we're gonna, next one was bus boy, give it 0. Last one was restaurant total is decimal. We're gonna give it 0. Okay, so if subtotal is gonna be less than 3,000, then our weighter tip will be 10% of that subtotal, which is 0.1. We're gonna multiply it with 0.1, and that 0.1 is 10%. It's actually 10% of then busboy is gonna be 0, and weighter tip, I mean restaurant total, is gonna be subtotal minus busboy. Even though if we just keep it a subtotal, it's still gonna be 0, right? So let me just remove that last part. Or for mathematical purpose and, you know, educational purpose, we're learning, right? Let me just put it like that, because in programming language, right, it reads sequentially. At some point, it's gonna read sequentially, right? Now, what if the subtotal is above 3,000? Then our weighter tip will be 20% of that subtotal, right? So we're gonna multiply it with 0.2, which is gonna be 20% of subtotal. Fine. Now our busboy will be 4% of that subtotal, which is gonna be 0.04. Yes, which is 4% of, it's 4% of subtotal of weighter tip. Now let's calculate our final weighter tip, since we have to remove that busboy total from the first weighter tip right here, right? So in programming language, it always reads sequentially. So here is how the new weighter tip will be. So we're gonna take whatever it was before and remove busboy total from it, right? And then now we can say restaurant total is equal to subtotal minus the new weighter tip, right? You can test this, you can always test this, and we're gonna do this. You can test it if really it reads sequentially, right? Because this last one right here, it will always take it from the second last, this one, right? And then here on the busboy, it's gonna take this one. Here on the new weighter, it's gonna take that one, the old one, what it was before. Okay, always test that. You can test that. Okay, now let's, for, was it 10 marks? For 10 marks, that's all you have to do. Now let's go to the next question. It says assign the calculated value, the calculated values, right? and formatted as currency to the applicable, to the applicable label controls, like waiter tip to LBL waiter, restaurant to LBL, and so on, right? For 3 marks, we're gonna say, I'm just gonna say assigning variables. Okay. The first one was LBL. Was it waiter tip is the text is equal to waiter tip, and there's actually 2 ways that I know you can format your currency, right? So you can use the toString and then put the capital letter C inside your double quotes, right? And then there's this one. I'll show you the next one. So okay, what do we have to assign here? Busboy. The next one is busboy L. So it's gonna be busboy, right? Wait. This is the other way. You're just gonna say format currency, and put your busboy total inside. It's gonna convert to whatever your whatever your computer's currency is, right? In my case, it's in rands. Okay. So here we're gonna see the last one was restaurant total, right? Restaurant total before we get to summaries. So I like using the toString because I feel like it's simpler. Anyway, you can use whatever way you prefer, right? Okay, now let's go on ahead and do the last part, right? The last part, this point right here, they want us to compose the concatenated message for the summary as indicated in the above screenshot and assign it to the label called LBL summary. And this is how it looks like. So they wanted to put it in this format, right? And always make sure that you test if it's gonna bring back these same results. Okay, that's how you know your code works. It's working perfectly. Okay, now they want us to put it this way, the summary this way, and this is how you do it. I'm just gonna say transaction and assign it to LBL summary, right? So the first one was waiter name, and our waiter name, it's stored inside waiter variable, right? And then here we're just gonna put our VBCRLF. This tells the program that I want this line to jump to the next, right? And then underscore, it tells the program that yes, I am putting the cursor to the next line. This one, it's gonna tell you know that a string is just gonna go straight to the end of your screen, right? So here with the VBCRLF, it's telling it that jump to the next line, and then underscore, I'm telling the code editor that I'm gonna finish this line on the what? On the next line here. So don't get those two confused. And it's just gonna go away. This one, the underscore is gonna go away. Okay, here now I'm gonna say they want us to put tip amount. I should have just copied and pasted. Oh, so even here, make sure that you format them, right, into currency. So here we want waiter dot to string. Let me just cut this to and copy. Here, next one was restaurant amount. Last one was busboy amount due. So like I'm just trying to make it look exactly like how it looks here, right? Now we're gonna put busboy amount, busboy total, right? Okay, before we move on to the next question, let's test if it's gonna work, right? So we're just gonna, if it's gonna return the very same values like this one, and if it doesn't, it means there's a problem somewhere. So it has to return the weighted tip as 130, and restaurant total has to be 100. I mean 1,000. Yes, as you can see. Okay, let's just go on ahead and try it out. Okay, I'll just put it here. Waiter name, I think that was Jason Bone, and his customer paid 1,300, right? Compute, and there you have it. This shows that what we did, at least it's according to whatever the way. Yes, so this is how it works. This is how you prove that you did, your code actually is running. Right now let's go on ahead and compute these two. Okay, now let's go to the next question. All right, now it's saying open the click event of the reset button and add the code to clear all appropriate controls and set the focus to the waiter's name text box for 4 marks. How do we do that? We first thing first, we have to double click on it to open its click event, and then this is just easy 4 marks, right? We're gonna clear every input. First one was, and we can also clear a text button by assigning it to nothing, right? Just like those other labels, but you can clear a label like you're clearing a text box, right? That's why I don't want to mix these two. I will only demonstrate it here, but I will always use the first one to clear text boxes, right? So that we don't confuse them with labels. Okay, so this label we're gonna assign it to nothing. Restaurant, even though if it's not in order or whatever order, as long as they clear, right? LBL summary that clear. See, it doesn't work. You have to say text and assign it to nothing. Waiter tape, text, assign it to nothing. And I think that's pretty much it. The last one, they want us to focus on waiter name, right? Focus. I said the focus to the waiter's name text box, right? This part. Okay. Now, the next question, it's saying open the click event of the exit button for 5 marks and add the code that will allow the user to confirm whether or not they want to quit the application. Okay, no, so this is how it looks like. I'm just gonna jump straight to the screenshot and see how it looks like. The text box, they're saying, I mean the text inside the message box is saying, are you sure you want to quit? It has a question icon, and the title is saying exit confirmation, right? And a yes or no button. This is how you do it. We're gonna come back here, double click on it. There are actually multiple ways you can do this, but I will show you in other videos, right? I always prefer this one. I'm gonna start by declaring an exit variable. Question mark, a title, okay, a yes or no button and question mark icon. Is that okay? Now the next part, we're gonna say if dot yes, then me dot close application dot whatnot. Yeah, there's actually multiple ways you can close your right, and then that's it. Let's jump back to the questions and see. Okay, the last part now, make sure that you put this, because this is what they're gonna mark, right? But only for what? One mark. Change the text in the title bar of the form to examination number. Run your program with the following test data and print a screenshot, or yes, a screenshot of the result, right? So it's Matilda Gatsby. It's Gatsby, right? Or Husby, I don't know. Okay, so it's Matilda, right? Matilda Husby. Okay, Matilda. Okay, Matilda. Let's go on ahead and try it out, right? Let me put it here. So it was Matilda. That's me. Yes, and the subtotal was 3,300, right? So this number is going, and there you have it. So to do a screenshot of the last, or the, how do I put this, topmost, or the one which is appearing last on your screen, like this screen right here, you're gonna press Control Shift and Alt, then press print screen. Go to your Word. I shouldn't have opened this one, but okay. Go to your Word and press Control and V to paste that screenshot. See, as simple as that. But if you wanna, let me quickly go back. If you wanna take a screenshot of everything here, you just print screen, then it's gonna open this little window where you have to drag a part you want a screenshot, right? Just like that. Let's go back to Word. Let me remove this one, and you press Control and V to paste, and there you have it, right? You can ask any other questions, and if you don't understand anything, or you want me to elaborate more on something, we can work on that on the next videos, right? I can work on that, and I'll see you on the next video. That's it for today.